Welcome, everybody, to episode 10 of Talk of the Rift. This is a podcast about all things League of Legends, from the current state of the meta, upcoming changes, and professional play. I am your host, Logan. And joining me today is Eli.
I'm back, baby.
Welcome.
And Cubes.
What's up? I'm still here.
At the end of the show, we do a live Q&A, so if you want to submit your questions, you can tweet them to us at Talk of the Rift, post them in Twitch chat, or even send us an audio message. If you're listening to us on YouTube, be sure to give us a like and subscribe, or if you're on Twitch, give us a follow so you can stay updated when we do live shows. How are you guys doing today?
Cold.
Almost the weekend.
Going from Florida back to Minnesota is a little hard for you, Eli?
Literally 100 degrees difference.
Yeah.
How's
it should warm up, right?
Tomorrow's like
No.
Tomorrow's cold, and then I think Saturday it's like starts of a 30-degree plus for like 2 weeks, which is awesome.
Please, we need it. God, please.
I'm ready for spring.
Oh God.
I need to snowboard first.
We got a lot
And I will be.
of things to talk about tonight. We've got fantasy stuff to go over. We got to recap the LCS Week 3, patch 10.4. Broxa is finally landed in NA and has started scrims as of today. And TSM versus C9 is always the best matchup ever, so we, of course, have to talk about it and everything it's been. But first, before...
smacked.
Yeah. Before we get into all that, though, how is solo queue going?
Pretty good. I rekindled with an old friend this morning. It was great. I haven't talked to him about like 6 years. Good stuff.
Oh, you're actually talking
like on League. Oh, okay. I thought you were like, you're like 6 years. I'm like, so you played like Katarina for the first time in a while, or like what's the?
I thought you were talking about a
rediscovered.
champion.
I thought I found out he's engaged. The whole big thing. It was great.
Nice.
But game's going all right. Hit or miss. I feel like there's something that was infuriating me, and I can't think of it now.
I could give you
Well,
I'll
one.
get back to
It was NA solo queue, so there's a laundry list of possibilities.
I played a game as Zaya. I got filled. All right, not filled, but I got bought. Played a game as Zaya. At level 2, my Wukong is invading their red. We start Mia pinging because we're like...
Your what?
Our Wukong. Oh, yes.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly.
that?
It gets better. He's invading the red, so we start Mia pinging our Caitlyn and Bard. We're like, hey, they're gone. He flashes in a dragon pit. All three of the enemy team, like Udyr, Bard, Caitlyn, immediately flash after him to kill him. Like, instant 3 flash. So we roll him up. All 3 of us die, get triple killed. He's Mia pinging us. And then we get back into lane, and he's assist pinging the Scuttle Crab. So we go down to Scuttle Crab. He dies again but by going into Udyr 1v1. And then I kill Udyr for the shutdown gold. We got absolutely stomped that game. It was terrible.
You couldn't carry with that shutdown goal?
No.
Disappointing.
The Wukong did not stop feeding after that.
Well, he doesn't know what the champion does.
Yeah. I didn't know what the champion does. That's also my fault, I guess. Long. He just kept diving in and inting. I don't understand what the appeal is for this champion.
That's the appeal, I think.
No, I think he plays Keelik and Soul Calibur, so he just assumed he had an unfair advantage.
It could be.
I don't understand that reference. I don't play Soul Calibur.
Oh, okay. Keelik also uses a long staff like that. It's basically Wukong.
Oh,
but...
gotcha.
Yeah, hopefully that Wukong rework comes through. That champion
This
needs
time.
it bad.
Yeah.
This time.
Agreed. So on to fantasy pick'ems and all that fun stuff. Last week, I don't know how you did, Eli, because you're not in our leaderboard thing yet.
Oh, yeah.
How'd I do?
That's all good.
don't know how to join that.
We'll get there. Coobs, you got
fucking Dion
251 points. I got last place for the week, but yeah, Dion did beat you. So for this week, I'll start first on what I'm thinking about doing here. I'm still doubling down on all my C9 players as much as I can.
It's not the worst idea.
Yeah, Sven is just worth a whole crap ton of money. So top lane, I'm going Licorice. Jungle, I'm going to go Closer. Excuse me. I'm going to try to have, because Golden Guardians is facing, I think it's like Immortals and CLG or something this week.
Yep.
So I'm totes down with that. And he's a good jungler, so hopefully he can smash him.
Good.
And then Jensen in the mid lane. I'm crossing my fingers that maybe they play a little bit better because they're facing 2 bad teams I can't think of. And then Sven, ADC, and Vulcan support with Aphelios double pick as my captain's choice for Sven. And then Golden Guardians as my team because if they go 2-0 this week, in theory, their team should do well. So,
bold of you to think that Aphelios won't get banned every game.
He didn't get banned last week.
Did he?
Yeah,
I checked the
stats.
Strong, they got him played.
Yeah, that's when Senna was still strong. Now people are saying
that is true.
Senna ADC, so do you not need to ban that anymore? And then you can just ban Aphelios.
I suppose.
We'll see. Maybe I still think Senna's okay, but for solo queue, but pros, who knows? You want me to go down my list?
Go ahead.
All right. Broken Blade in the top lane.
Of course.
The dude's a stud. He's the best top laner in NA right now. I also have Closer as my jungler. He's just looking good. He's just a solid jungler. Which I have him playing Jarvan both games because I don't know how to do these picks things. We'll see. He's played it a couple times. I went with it. I have Froggen as my mid laner. And I have Double Lift make an appearance as my ADC. Ooh. I think he's gonna get the stick out of his ass. I think he's gonna start playing better, and I think his team will stop having him play Senna, which I think is the most important part of the whole thing. So I actually think he's geared for a pop-off week.
They just need to break his finger and make him play Ashe. He pops off every time that happens.
That's true. It's foolproof. And then I have Vulcan getting some beneficial points from Sven. And then I have 100 Thieves as my team because that's the money I had left.
Super random. But because you said Vulcan getting beneficiary points. The Cloud9 Twitter account tweeted the other day they're starting a program where you can send your replays to C9 of you like on whatever champion, and one of the players will critique your play, and then they will like post a video of it, basically. So it's like free content for them. So they were like, try out our new coaching system. Like it's worked wonders for our support Vulcan, and they're like, and he only cost us like 1.5 million. And it's a montage of every Nautilus queue that he's missed in the LCS so far, and it's like. Dude, it's like 20 of them.
Is it actually?
It's like miss, flash, miss. Like it's.
I don't know how you miss with that ability.
I don't know, but it's so funny. They're just like $1.5 million support, by the way. Like Jesus Christ.
I've been seeing videos on Twitter where it's just like, this is how I would change Nautilus, and like they changed the coding of the ability. Yeah. Or like the coding of Nautilus. One of them had Nautilus the size of like twice the size of a max stack like Cho'Gath. There was one that had like Nautilus's Q, but it behaved like Senna's ultimate, so it was global and had a massive hitbox. One of them was Ashe's Q, so it just sent out anchors in a giant cone. And I was like, I don't even know how people are doing this, but it's really funny to me because it feels like that's what that ability does already.
What are your picks, Eli?
I agree.
Yeah. Oh, first of all, how many points did you have last week, Logan?
236 is what I got for week 3.
Okay. So I'm really glad I didn't join because I would have gotten last place. I had 203 and a quarter.
Nice.
Because Froggen gave me 16 points and Dignitas gave me 9.
Yeah, Ignar gave me 1. So, so mad.
Well, did Dignitas only play 1 game last week? I'm confused.
No, they played 2.
I don't have points for game 2. I don't. There's no points for game 2 for under Dignitas as a team from last week.
They might have just not got points.
It's very possible.
They lost to Cloud9 and then they lost to like 100 Thieves or something.
Okay. No, I play 100 Thieves this week. But...
yeah. Either way.
I guess just to make it clear, since I was on vacation, I didn't watch any last week. I just kind of spaced out from all whatever. Just wanted to point that out. So I don't know what happened. So I dumped my money into Cloud9 in a similar way. which means that I did my mid, my bot, my support first, and then I just spread the money that I had left around. So my top laner ended up being Haunter. My jungler is Santorin, but I've got Niski, Sven, and Vulcan, the trio from Cloud9. I'm hoping they just raffle stomp TSM like they should.
I don't think it's a should. TSM second place.
No.
So is Immortals.
Yeah, right. They're weird. That's a weird team.
But I've got Sven as my captain with the double Aphelios, and I have Immortals as my team. Again, I picked up Immortal, Santorin, and Haunter because that was the money I had left. So
I think those are solid pickups.
we'll see what happens.
Because if Liquid like shits the bed again, then Immortals will get a crap ton of points, and EG has been shitting the bed, so that's pretty likely. Or there's a good scenario that Immortals beats them, so I think those are all safe bets.
And I anybody that's not grabbing Sven and picking Aphelios as the captain, I just don't understand your thought process.
He's not getting Aphelios.
Eh,
It doesn't matter. He's still gonna get a shit ton of points. Statistically speaking, it should still be
Right.
okay.
well, I guess, and that's again coming from the NA only standpoint. Like if you're not grabbing G2 players, I don't understand what you're doing.
Right. So on to the LCS Week 3 recap. Is there anything from this week that you wanted to talk about? As far as like games, I know Eli, you said you didn't get the chance to watch any of them really because you were
I had a
vacationing.
chance. I chose not to.
Smart. The only thing that I really wanted to talk about is, well, the two things I want to talk about. One, Cloud9 is awesome, but we'll get to that when we talk about them versus TSM. Dignitas is not so hype. They kind of fell flat. And Team Liquid is trash. Specifically,
Or Golden Guardians are good.
Double Lift is playing atrocious. Obviously, Senna is a thing that he clearly cannot play.
Did you see his reaction when they had him pick Senna?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that poor man.
I just think that I would imagine he will play significantly better when he's not playing Senna. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, the rest of the team is playing pretty atrocious. Like, Impact was playing terribly. Core JJ was playing really bad, too. Especially when you're, like, dying to Keith McBrief in the bot lane. Which I love how, like, so while you were gone, Eli, Coobs and I, like, we had a we had our just two-person episode. And for a second, we talked about how bad Keith was. And then I'm just, like, at work, and I'm like, oh, like, I should, like, see how that Liquid Golden Guardians game is going. Like, it should be over by now. Liquid should have stomped them. And I turn it on, and all I see is, like, the replay of Keith just, like, throwing out the hook and just like, landing double left. And I'm like, oh, wow, like, good job, Keith. Like, way to go. Way to find the opening. Good job. I'm like, but that was probably it. And then it's another replay of, like, a god hook. And then there's a flash hook. And then he's, like, fillets somebody out of, like, the J4 standard, like, in a hook. And I'm like, okay, this guy is smurfing on them. I was like, what?
Was that his first? Was that his first
Yeah.
first Thresh game?
Yeah, I think he played Tom
Apparently-
Kench for like the other 3 games or something like that.
Apparently, that's just like the one champion because he played that the most when he boot camped in Korea and had like some stupid win rate on it. So I think it's just like the only champion he can play.
So now he's a pocket Xmithy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just funny to see him smurf on kids and it being Team Liquid. Like, yeah, in theory, you know, Double Lift and Core JJ are the best bot lane in North America. So like, then Keith just like walks in the lane. He just like kicks down the door, just hooks Double Lift in the face and kills him. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. All right, sweet. My app just broke wide open. But
I actually do have something. The one clip I saw from last week was Sven dying for the first time.
yeah,
Where who are they playing? I don't even remember.
I was against Frog and Dignitas.
Dignitas, yeah. Dignitas dumps every last bit of every resource they had into killing Sven. Like, I'm pretty sure that they were offered a reward. Like, this is a bounty system. Like, kill Sven. We don't care if we win the game. Kill Sven. Because they dumped everything onto killing him. Cloud9's like, oh, well, we're just gonna go win though. Is that cool? Is that cool if we just we're gonna get out of here.
Did you see the clip where they showed the pro view? And it's
No.
like So they kill Sven, and then Cloud9 immediately kills all of them, and Niski all chats like jungle flash like 26, mid flash
no, I did see
26,
that.
top flash 26.
I did see that. That's really funny.
And then Sven types worth or whatever question mark, and Frog and all chats get carried.
I love that all chat is still like enabled, that they can do stuff like that. Because I
didn't know they
distinctly
did
remember-
it that much. Like, I thought it was a rare occasion if they ever, like, they all chat like good luck, have fun, you know, GG
Right.
or whatever. I didn't think that like players actually all chatted like mid flash, jungle flash, top flash, like whatever. Like, oh
Right.
man, that's cold. I love that though.
I distinctly remember, like, really early on. I'm talking like probably season 3, so it would have been the first year that the LCS was a thing. Like just a clip, and I can't remember if it was Doublelift playing Corki. Somebody was playing Corki, and they were chasing down a Shen. Like one team's taking the Nexus. The Shen is the only one alive on that team, and Corki is just chasing him around trying to kill him. And in the middle of that, like they still had all chat available for the broadcast, and you just see the Corki all chat die in all caps. It was one of the first moments that I remember from professional play, and it was just this weird human, like you would see that in your game. You know? It was really cool. So I'm glad they still have all chat enabled for that.
There's another one. I don't remember what team it was. Again, pretty early on. I want to say it's like a CLG game. I don't remember who said it, but it was basically the top laner got dove and then like died, and then just all chatted open. It just opens out. Because they're like the lane swap meta where if you just died as the top laner, you're just screwed.
Yeah.
That's funny. Open. Any teams that you wanted to talk about, Coobs?
From this last week?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, TSM went 2-0. Looked honestly good. Broken Blades and Insane Kiana.
Oh, that was this week. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's like a
Wait,
triple flex they
Kiana
have.
top?
Yeah, he smacked the Aatrox.
Oh my god.
Yeah, which shouldn't happen.
No.
No,
I mean, I'm glad things are smacking Aatrox, but I didn't think it'd be Kiana of all.
Yeah, no, he was pretty clean on that champion. So it's awesome to see TSM, play something that's not the strict meta, because I feel like they never do that. So that made me pretty happy to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I think TSM's looking pretty good. They still got some things to figure out still. I don't think it's like super consistent yet, and they still have some screw ups, but yeah, I like that they're kind of going out, maybe not outside their comfort zone, but actually like taking a risk with picks instead of just doing, well, this is a safe pick for this lane.
Right. That was always the knock on NA as a whole. It was just whatever other regions are doing. It's like, okay, let's learn how to do that. They'd always like be a week late or whatever.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think preview. I think the TSM C9 one will actually be a good game. I think it'll be the closest game C9 will have this split.
So we'll get into it, but when you say close, I'm gonna botch the stat.
Okay.
Cloud9 has 23 dragons to their enemies 3.
Ooh.
They have 50 some towers to their enemies 9 or 7.
Oh my god.
And there's another one I
is it, 9
cannot
or
think
7?
of. And they have 100% Baron, and they have not lost a single Baron.
Is this all off the top of your head?
Yes, this is. Well, I read these stats, and now I'm just trying to remember them.
Right.
And now I'm trying to find them, but they're not here.
I
promise you that my concept is correct.
Okay.
They have 88% dragon control, which whatever that math equates to. They have 100% elder dragon control, 100% first baron, 100% baron control. And I know that, and then the baron, they average 1.2 baron. So basically they've only needed 1 baron for every game minus 1, where they needed 2.
Interesting.
Yeah. They just haven't played against the best early game team in the league yet.
So
okay.
That's not a thing anymore.
Is it C9 now?
Yes.
Yeah.
C9 is up 2,200 gold at 15. TSM is up 960.
Wow.
They do share the same first blood percentages, though.
I do think that that game will be really exciting.
Yes,
Um,
it will be exciting for sure.
Unless, like, even if one team comes out and just stomps the other, it'll still be exciting for that. Like, oh my God, we didn't expect that. Like, if Cloud9 just rolls on TSM, it's like now you got to wonder what happened last week that TSM was playing so well, or is Cloud9
Yeah,
just that much better? But if TSM goes the other way and just rolls Cloud9, it's like it. Every outcome is really exciting, and that's one of the cool things about TSM having a bad weekend and then coming back and just rolling through last weekend.
yeah, and this is obviously a cop out for any team that like loses and stuff, but it's more like with the regular season because it's just one game series. It's just about consistency. Like every if you take you have to look at like the like their what they've played so far as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
If you take like any individual game, it's just like well, it could be
And
something just got screwed up in the early there, and just
Right.
and
the winner
they could do it
loss,
play 10 games, yeah. So
the winner loss
it,
says a lot to like what your situation is, because like if Cloud9, let's say if Cloud9 wins at 50 minutes, well, they're the first team to take Cloud9 to 50 minutes, so like TSM clearly is the second best team. Like,
yeah,
you know, like maybe they're not better than C9, but like clearly they are capable of winning that game.
Mm-hmm.
If C9 smashes them in 23 minutes, it's like, okay, if our second best team can't even get past 23 minutes, like C9 is actually that good. If 50 minutes and TSM wins, okay, they had to barely squeak by. I mean, there's so many things that each victory or loss can tell
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
with
Yeah,
how
like the same
dominant
thing-
C9 has been.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, do we want to save the rest for later? Do we want to go into that game right now?
We can save the rest for later.
Okay.
We'll jump to patch 10.4 then. Obviously, this is not out. We don't have official patch notes yet, so all this is subject to change. But there's a lot of concepts that are being tossed around on the PBE for
They
making
don't
more
change much of them
champions.
usually.
Yeah, for making champions more jungle focused. So we kind of wanted to go over it because it's an interesting change to say the least. Personally, I'm not a fan of Talon being a jungler, but that's just me.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
flips
that
over
seems
walls.
like a bit much.
But we'll get there. So I guess obviously don't think we need to go top to bottom on everything necessarily,
No.
but we'll start just whatever
It's a
you
big
think. Whatever you
patch.
think is worth talking about, we'll talk
Mhm.
about. So you
Yeah.
go ahead, Coobs. You go first if you got something. We'll just kind of jump through.
Like you said here, jungle's the big focus on this one. Now they're allowing more champions to have mechanics to help their clear. They're also changing the tank jungle item, the Cinder Hulk, where now after using a CC ability, I think it has to be like hard CC, right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
Immobilizing CC.
yeah.
Immobiles, yeah.
So like stuns, roots, taunts, things like that. They will do extra damage as a fiery nova. That does damage based on your bonus HP that you have. I think this just allows tanks to be more into the meta here. I mean, right now we're seeing a lot of just like warrior, and the AP item that I can't think of right now. Those are kind of like the meta. Yeah, and I think this maybe puts more tanks on par, which will all on its own open up the jungle, meta.
This also, real quick, this immolate passive also goes on to Sunfire Cape. So it's not just the jungle item.
Yeah, so you might see. I mean, with that too, you might see more tanks in the top lane. So I just think just this Bammy Cinder buff basically, kind of opens up a door for a lot of champions we haven't seen yet come into play. Depending on I would not be mad at that. And so I think that's like the biggest change this whole patch. And then with the jungler pool, right, it's basically Darius, Garen, Talon, Zed, Diana, Mordekaiser, and Gnar all have like their procs do more damage to monsters. So just helping those champions just clear. And like Logan said, Talon sounds terrifying because he already ganks from
already
mid,
mobile as
weird
shit.
angles.
Yeah.
Yeah, he already has super weird angles. He's gonna be able to take even more weird angles from just being in the jungle when you don't know where he is in the map at all times.
The first change that I saw, it's the first change on the patch, obviously, that I'm really excited for is Amumu, actually. His
Kind of a cool way of doing it.
bandage toss is faster now. and it's the distance, it's the
Well,
speed in which
his dashes, not his throwing out's the same.
the
I was gonna say.
throwing out is the same, but him getting pulled in is faster
Yep.
by like how X amount of units.
Yeah,
It's a significant amount. And his ultimate now stops dashes, and the cooldown's getting lower too. But stopping the dashes part is interesting to me. It basically means that he can engage faster. So like if he's like
beside the person, yeah.
if he's like flanking and he like hits that bandage toss out of Fog of War, he just instantly goes in ults, and it's just like everyone just gets stopped. There's no more like half-ass dash or whatever coming out the side. It's just like, nope, you're there. It's a good engage. He gets to do it more. I like that a lot.
It's roughly 25% faster.
Boom. There we go.
There's more long division than I cared to do in my head, but it's roughly 25.
Yeah, and especially with Bammy Cinder helps him out too. Who knows?
Yeah.
See some Amumu.
So I guess my question, I didn't look. Is it at the point of the crowd control, or is it at the champion when the crowd control hits for the Bombi Cinder?
It just says it's around them, damage around you. So like, I don't think people at the outer edge will take damage from Amumu's ult. That's like the situation.
Well, my thing is that's gonna pop off on Amumu's Q, and if he's far enough away and it goes off the champion, he's not gonna get the benefit from that.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what the range will be.
What? Can you? I'm really sorry. I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say that again?
So
Like what you're
if
asking.
Amumu is standing next to his team and he's bandage tossing to engage, his bandage toss is going to hit a champion. That's the immobilize. The Bombi Cinder like immolate passive is going to pop on Amumu before he gets there, and then it's 10 seconds before he gets it again.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's like a delay or if it's like, so that'll be interesting how that mechanic works out. If it's instantly, then it doesn't work for a lot of people.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's going to get the
window.
bonus magic damage on the immobilizing spell, but then the fiery nova around you doesn't do anything unless I guess I don't know how long that nova lasts.
And that's actually less important for what you're talking about and more important for his jungle clear. That like if he like let's say he's like just cleared raptors and he wants to bandage toss red buff, let's say, like he doesn't get the damage on red buff then, which is like or like Krugs or Razorbeak, like he needs that extra he doesn't need the extra AoE, but it would help him with his clear speed if he would get that immolation.
Well, I'm imagining the passive clear is still there.
Yeah.
But
I'm saying like the burst would help. Like,
every
little bit helps. So, like,
absolutely.
I'm going to guess that they've thought about this, especially because he's getting separate changes. So, like, I would imagine that it waits for him to be there.
Right. And I guess I don't know how this is going to interact.
How does Aftershock work?
It's delayed.
It's slightly delayed.
Yeah, so it'd have to be delayed with it.
But we're assuming that this is a burst.
Yeah.
It just says releases a fire nova that also deals bonus damage around you. It could be like for 3 seconds. Once
it marks, like that's it. Like it doesn't mark for 3 total seconds, but you get marked, and then that burn damage applies for X amount of time. So whether you know what I mean? It's like whether he hits you at the start of his bandage toss or at the end, it's the same damage taken.
Maybe I was just thinking that like. Think of it as the Sunfire Cape gets hotter for 3 seconds after you immobilize somebody.
Gotcha.
But we'll have to see how it interacts because just this doesn't make it clear.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, we'll see what it ends up being, but I think it's gonna be good. I think they're gonna think of a lot of different ways that, like Logan said, on how it like wouldn't work and tried to get it to work for most champions that would want to use it.
Just play Zach. That's it.
Yeah, Mundo's kind of screwed.
Yeah. That's a good point because he doesn't have any hard CCs.
No, it just has a slow.
What if they changed his Q so that like if you hit somebody that was
stop. Matthew, stop.
I heard it right away. What if they change his Q? No.
Another exchange. I'm Silas buff. Woohoo! Don't think it actually means much, but
buff? I don't see.
He gets 20 damage at max rank. I guess, or maybe on his Q. Yeah, it starts off the same. if this is enough to clear the backline with a single Q, if you max it first, then you probably
Isn't this an intention for him to be a jungler though?
It could be. I don't know.
Well,
It doesn't
they
say
have
the
to give him an
monsters.
early game buff though.
I mean, his passive already does like reduce damage to monsters and stuff.
Oh,
But
you're right.
I mean, maybe I'm gonna try it with a Cinder Hulk. I think that could be kind of fun. But
Oh, he's not in the list of jungle pool. James.
no,
Okay.
no,
Gotcha.
no. So go for it.
Try it with a Cinder Hulk and like a Titanic Hydra.
Boom.
Maybe. Yeah. I was thinking just like Cinder Hulk and like Leandries.
Yeah, that too, I guess. AP Bruisers.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, if I don't think this actually means much for mid lane unless like this is enough damage for him to Q backline with a single Q. So right now his wave clear is terrible, and if this doesn't help that, then he's like in the same spot. But I like seeing him on the board there.
I want to talk about Gnar.
Yeah.
He's like one of my favorite top laners of all time.
Get into it.
Well,
Man,
and you're
this
jungle
buff
main
is
now, so you
insane.
get to play him again.
This buff is absolutely insane. Can we just talk about the fact that his ultimate now has a 50% AD ratio? 50%?
Yeah.
And I'm not even mentioning the AP.
Yep.
Yeah, Silas buff there.
I want the goddamn montages, please, of just like Gnar goes in mega as a straight AP champion and just throws the whole team in the wall in one shots. That's all I want.
Didn't even think about Silas stealing that Gnar ult with those ratios.
Yeah,
because the AD gets converted to more AP and keep. That's Lord.
Literally the first thing I think about when I see ultimate changes is how does this affect Silas when he takes it?
Do you think Riot thinks about how this affects Silas?
They have to, right? They have to.
It's got to be. It's literally somebody's job to be like, no, this would be broken on Silas.
Yeah.
One would think. But maybe there's another guy's job his only job is to point out that Silas is a dumpster fire champion in lane, so it's not like anyone's going to play him.
Right.
They have to like design champions. The fact that Silas is in the game now when they code.
Yeah.
For how he like steals ultimates, like allowing it, like so they've had to like go back and like redo it. So they at least think about Silas that way. So hopefully
someone has to.
Yeah.
But 300 max damage versus monsters at all ranks now with his W, just by doing his 3 auto attacks. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think he's like benefits the most because he's like ranged for the most part, right? If he's ranged around when there's like the scuttle fight, like he can just kite and you can poke. Like
I don't know. I don't know how his mega scales like into. So like in laning phase, you're basically mega at level 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like. So if you took like red buff into Krugs, I would imagine you're turning mega in that time. You're gonna go out of mega, and then maybe you could charge it back up on the scuttle crab. But I don't know what his like. I don't know how much charges he gets from monsters off the top of my head. If it's the same or if it's less.
I'd imagine it's the same. I mean, does he get more from monsters hitting him or minions hitting him too?
I don't think so.
Or is that just champions?
I think he gets more from champions.
Yeah, I know that for sure. I wasn't sure if it was but I don't know. I think he's just got a lot of things that I'm about to go mega here. Let's hold this. Let's go to let's stack this on Krugs real quick, and then let's go gank bot lane and just shove it down their throats. I think he's got a lot of potential in the jungle.
Do you know off the top of your head what Mini Gnar's move speed is?
Like base movement speed?
When he procs his W?
No, just what his base
No, I have no idea.
Because his Mega Gnar got picked up from 325 to 335, and I didn't know what the difference was before. Because I know typically melee champions are faster than ranged champions, right?
Well, he's faster as a ranged champion. I know that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's already kind of weird. So does that even it up?
His movement speed as mini is a 325. Is 325 as mini.
Oh,
but once he gets his ultimate, once he gets 6, increase your hyper's movement speed bonus to 45. So that's with his W.
That's not base though.
Right, that's true.
So that's making it so when he's mega, he gains the standard for melee people.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other changes?
It's rock a nerf.
There's a lot of nerfs there.
Yeah.
I guess the only I'm just gonna get my Lux Lament in. I don't like that they made it a support Lux buff. I mean, I like it. Lux is my girl. Let's just make that clear right away. And I'm glad my girl is getting buffs, but they increase the damage on Q and reduce the cooldown. I love that, but it's not the change I wanted. She needed a little love on her E to clear backline minions, kind of the same way that Silas needs a little love on his Q. Didn't get that. Little upset, but I'm not really playing mid lane very much anymore, so it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, she gets Ludens and it's fine anyways.
As somebody who used to play
or
champions,
Silas, he gets Ludens and it's still not fine.
as somebody who used to main champions that would get one shot by Lux, I don't like any buffs. They're all
I don't like
stupid,
it
and
at
she's
all.
fine.
It's actually so hard to play into for
So
Silas and Echo
frustrating.
and stuff.
Especially when I remember when Elemental Drake rework was coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and people were like, "Oh, imagine if Hecarim got all these things and then ulted with his movement speed." People are like, "Those games are 1 in a million. Like you won't see them." And then I thought to myself, like, what happens when Lux gets all the Cloud Drake cooldowns? And people are like, "Those are 1 in a million. You'll see it once." And I'm just like, I've definitely seen it at least 20 times now, and it is just frustrating as hell.
Well, that and then she could stack ultimate reduction sources, so that if she killed you with her ult, it was coming back up in 12 seconds.
Yep. Oh, it's frustrating. It was literally the same cooldown as Earth.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dumb. But we digress. Any other changes?
I mean, just Soraka won't be seen in pro play anymore, and hopefully no more of my solo queue games. Top lane. Pretty pumped.
Yeah. The world was happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so TSM versus C9. The moment you've all been waiting for. The moment I've been waiting for. I'm actually very excited for this matchup because I feel like as time has gone on, it has gotten less and less hype. At least I feel like people have made it less and less hype, and that's upsetting to me because it's a kick-ass matchup usually always. So to start with it, I thought it would be fun that we talk about our favorite TSM versus C9 matchups, just as a fast whatever.
Man, my memory sucks. I don't remember any of them.
You don't remember any of it? I figured you'd be
look back.
I'm thinking about. I could list 3 times in my head where TSM beat C9 in the finals. How could you just not know that?
You know my history with this question game we got at the end, and I can't remember anything.
Jesus.
It's all just on to the next.
I thought your fandom
live in the present.
was good. My bad. I'm
I don't live in
sorry.
the past. I don't live in the past.
I also don't live in the past, but I would just like to point out that that's because I came up as a Dignitas fan, and then I was a Vulcan fan. And if you know anything about the history of the LCS, you know that my heart has been broken too many times.
I remember my favorite one now.
Okay, that's good.
All right. Had to give me a second.
Oh, he doesn't remember. He told you he remembered, but he was looking it up, and he's not ready.
He's pulling
No,
me.
no.
He pressed the buzzer and has no answer.
No, I remember my answer now. I just gotta hope I get the situation right, but I think I do.
Okay.
Should I start it? Should I go
Yeah,
with it?
yeah, go.
Oh, all right. Was it game 5 of the finals? Fight around Dragon.
Game 4.
Was it game 4?
Yeah, it was game
Even
4.
better.
I
Didn't
know
even need 5.
As soon as you said Dragon, I was like, it's game 4.
Don't even need 5 games. Intense team fight.
Actually, I might be wrong. It might be game 5.
I think it was game 5.
Because the one mid lane where double lift, where Jensen flashes forward with Talia W, that was game 4 where they lost that one, I believe.
And
yes, I think this one was game. I think this one was game 5. Yeah. One of them was 5 and one was 4.
An absolute low light where Jensen forgets that Echo has an R button.
Also that he has his Zonias.
Also, and that he has his Zonias. That was my favorite moment.
I forgot about that.
That's why I was confused. You're like, oh, I don't remember anything. I'm like, listen, I could give you 3 right now that you should just be high over.
I don't remember the Talia one though.
The Talia one was that one. They were actually winning the team fight, and then double lift broke free and just like killed all of them.
But yeah, I mean, it's just always like for me, like during the regular season, the games are usually kind of whatever.
Right.
Hopefully this week will be different, but I think generally it's just like one team kind of like history based. One team kind of just like almost rolls the other one in the regular season. Then they meet in
Yeah.
the playoffs, and it's always like game. It's always 5 games almost.
Almost, yeah.
And so I just think it's the most competitive rivalry esports has.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
think that's correct.
I think the keyword is competitive though, and that's why I'm
Yeah.
Well,
like,
yeah.
ooh.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
absolutely.
think it's either like that or probably like some StarCraft rivals from back in the day.
I thought CS:GO right away. Who's like EG?
Yeah.
Is it EG versus like TL or Astralis or what's the? I don't know CS:GO for shit, but Optic
Those are,
versus
like-
100 Thieves. With like the nade shot versus what's his face in Call of Duty maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
It's
I don't know.
the
Go
the
for it.
NA rivalry was, well, TSM wasn't NA. I think I can't remember because Cloud9 and one other NA. I think it's Cloud9 and Liquid for NA Counter Strike are the big rivals.
Okay.
And then like in Scandinavia, because I don't remember if it's Sweden or Denmark. Danes are really good at Counter Strike, by the way. Just for some reason, all of them are really good at Counter Strike.
We're just good at games.
I can't remember if TSM and Astralis are rivals or not. I haven't paid attention to competitive Counter Strike in a minute, but I think the American one is Liquid and Cloud9.
But regardless, for the competitive aspect of it, that sounds pretty good, I would say.
Yeah,
There's not.
It's
really
always
a
been
strike
back and forth.
max. Yeah,
Technically
Like the
speaking, like
TSM
C9 hasn't won since 2013/14, where TSM has won since then. You know, so like
Right.
you could say like, well, it's been one-sided, but like, C9 and
But they're
TSM
always
meeting.
up
They
there,
always
like-
met at the finals, and now they kind of meet in quarters and semis now.
Yeah,
Which makes it
and
still
what I mean
competitive.
with
but
also is that like the games are always like it's never like
yeah.
right.
they're always both like top half of like it's never like I guess this year this matchup's a joke because TSM's the worst team in the league and C9's the best. You know what I mean? So it's just pretty consistent as far as both teams are just always vying for a championship spot.
I wonder if the players see it as that much of a rivalry. I mean, I
They're
guess
all
they-
friends.
I know. Well, that's the thing is like this is so different from like traditional sports. Like I'm a big college football guy, and if you asked any player from any school in the country, would you rather win a national championship or beat the team your rivals down the road? Almost to a man, they would say I'd rather beat the team down the road.
Yeah.
But it's so different in like esports because pretty much everybody is just friends because they play games together.
Yeah,
Really all
and I
there
think
is to
the
it.
hard part is that like when the Vikings beat the Packers, it's like hell yeah, we're all like yeah we got you, but like if C9 beats TSM like in the regular season, I'm like cool, like yeah it's fun, but it's whatever. Like no one really counts regular season at the end of the day. It's all about do you beat them in playoffs? Well, what if they never face in playoffs? Then it's like well, nah. So
Yeah.
that's the other tough part, but
I have one TSM versus Cloud9 moment, and it's a little non-traditional because this is just an experience that I had. It's not in an LCS game. Me and my friend Josh go into a Chipotle, and there's somebody wearing a TSM Biofrost sweatshirt in line. And Josh said, "Go TSM" to him. And the guy said, "Go TSM back." And somebody else sitting like next to the line said, "TSM sucks." And he was wearing a Cloud9 sweatshirt. That's it. That's my one. That's my favorite.
That's a good moment. I like
It's
that.
good for me because I got Chipotle right after. So
mine's a little bit backwards too. It's because I can't think of any like really good moments where C9 beat TSM that's not them winning the like finals
right.
because they just smashed them both those times. So mine actually is the first time that C9 lost to TSM in the finals when Wild Turtle was playing Tristana and he jumped all over everybody because it made the actual that's when the like actual rivalry got competitive and it like
Right.
mattered because up until that point, C9 was like 10-0 against TSM. I mean, it was just Stomp City, and then all of a sudden TSM won, and that's cool. I don't mind that as long as
What is the
it's fun.
head-to-head record?
I think C9 is still up. They were at one point they were like every week they'd be like, "Oh, what is it?" And I heard they were up, but because C9 3-0 TSM in summer, I think in the playoffs, and then TSM beat C9 3-2 in the playoffs. So I don't know. But
So 1 year ago, wait, that's CLG. 1 year ago, TSM's all-time record against Cloud9 was 16-21.
Ooh.
are
That's
you
further
is
apart
that
than I
from
thought it would be.
January?
Yeah, yep.
So TSM got 3 wins and C9 got 5. That's just playoffs. Then you have regular season, which I don't remember how many games.
I don't know what it would be. Yeah, I'll look it up
Well,
sometime.
anyway. So how do we think? We didn't talk at all about the matchup. We were all getting into it before. We should just roll with it. But so what do we think about the matchup on Saturday?
I mean, we can just go top to bottom, right? Top lane's kind of a push, in my
Right.
opinion. This is my opinion. I think that's pretty even matchup.
Yeah.
I think that one's gonna be kind of pretty jungle influenced on who gets the win there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I give Blabber jungle. I
think. Well, hold up. I think just to stop and talk about it quick. I also give it to Blabber, and that's only based on like the fact that Blabber's been performing better so far, like as a whole.
Mhm.
But if Dardoch beats Biofrost Blabber, then I think TSM wins. I think that's the win condition for TSM is that you shut down Blabber because no one's been able to do it yet. There's one game where Blabber died like 3 times and had like 1 kill, but like he still was carrying on Lee Sin. So like if you do it a bit harder, which I think Dardoch is the only jungler that's kind of capable of doing that. But we'll see. Until Brock, I mean, if Broxa plays really well, but we'll get to that later in some other episode. But sorry, go on.
Yeah, mid lane I give Bjergsen. Bot lane, obviously it's gonna be. I mean, the bot lane's gonna be a freaking farm fest.
Yeah.
I mean, is it Kobe or Kave? Yeah, I can't remember. Kave. He's been playing super consistent, super like safe. He's not dying much. He's always got good like. It's gonna be a farm fest in bot lane. But I think Sven's positioning is just better, so I gotta give that to Sven overall. I don't think bot lane's gonna be that big of a story in this game though, and I think that Biofrost does more for TSM than Vulcan does for C9.
Could see that. So here's
as far as their team dynamic goes, they rely on Biofrost a lot for engages, whereas C9 doesn't as much.
Here's where I'm going to slip the rug out from underneath TSM, because the key thing on there was that Bjergsen's going to win mid lane, which I agree. Like he probably will. In a best of 5, I would imagine that Bjergsen would win the majority of that. The thing is, though, is that Niski doesn't care. And he got, like, when they played against Dignitas, the amount of times where Niski just, like, aimlessly roamed.
Well, that's where I think the key is.
And, like, he like, Niski would just, like, leave. Like, the wave would be pushing into him, and he would just leave. He'd just be like, I'm going to go bot now. And then Froggen would just, like, go up and start taking plates. It was, like, constantly. And so, like, to me, it's, like, who cares if Bjergsen wins? But, like, Bjergsen needs to, like, follow Niski and, like, stop him. Or Dardoch needs to be there to be like, no, you have to sit here and you have to lose. Like, you don't get to just, like, lose and leave. Like, you're going to, you're going to take your suffering and whatever.
That's where I think the turning point in this game is if TSM identifies the roams and doesn't die to them, because the only reason why Niski's even like keeping up in like his gold numbers and stuff is because it just is always working so far.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he doesn't get those roams off, like that guy's so far behind in all those games.
Right.
And so that's if he's allowed to do that against TSM, and C9 wins. If he's not, C9 still might win, but it's a much better chance that Bjergsen has more control over the game than Niski does.
Also, Niski's flexibility on champions in general.
Yeah.
Mobility of different champions to play through.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying, could give him an opening to like not get shut down. Like if Dardoch's trying to stop him and he's playing like Pantheon, he's just ulting bot lane, kind of a thing.
Yeah, do we know who has blue side, purple side? Because TSM chances go up, in my opinion, if they have purple.
Blue side is Cloud9.
Okay. You said blue side?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
when I fill out the pick'ems, I fill them out the exact same as the schedule, and left side is blue side. So
yeah, so I think you'll just see try to get the counter pick for mid lane, and so that's force the blind pick, and hopefully that'll be. TSM's
you don't think they'll
way of
give
dealing
counter
with
pick to a top side?
They might. I think it's wrong if they do, though.
Yeah,
they have been.
A part of me wants to be like, I don't know, man. Like Licorice is really good, and you really gotta like shut down Licorice. But Broken Blade's been playing really well, so it's like, do you just like let him keep playing really well? Because like if you don't, what if you don't give Broken Blade the necessary resources, and it turns out Licorice just like smashes him,
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, I just don't see that happening. Obviously, it could. And that's just kind of they gotta do their whole pros and cons list and what's more important, and maybe they will give it a top because they're just like Bergson will handle in lane whatever it is, and I think that's what they've been doing, so they might stick with that.
Because the thing is too is that like C9 is like so fast in the beginning and into the mid game, and they have 100% dragon control, or 100% first percentage dragon control, and then they've only gave up 3 dragons,
and that'll continue because TSM does not give a single F about the first dragon.
Right.
True.
They never contest it.
What I'm saying is though that if C9 holds the holds the river, and the bot side, and Niski gets the ability to roam, he'll get to roam all the way to the bot lane, and they get to dive the bot lane tower because it's super easy, and they could just shit on that bot lane. So
but I mean, you could say that for the reverse also. That's just League of Legends.
No, because C9's blue side, so they're diving red side bot tower, and that's significantly easier to dive. Is what I'm saying. And then if they have dragon control, it's the harder side to have the dragon control. So if they have that, they have more forward pressure on a TSM. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who's Cloud9's shot caller? Do they have a specific shot caller? Is it Blabber?
It's Blabber. There's an interview. I think Blabber did an interview, and he said that he is the early game shot caller, and then it transitions in the mid to late game. It's kind of just everybody. Right. But the early game is Blabber shot calls because he tells everyone what he's doing and what he needs, and then they manipulate their waves based off of what he wants to do.
Unless you're Niski, then he just ignores his wave and does whatever.
Right. Yeah, you don't need to manipulate it if you're just going to leave it.
Blabber's been doing a really good job because TSM up to this point, like you said, they don't care about first dragon. They've been using that to get their early game leads by giving up first dragon. Cloud9's getting early game leads and getting first dragon. I think that's really important because you might get to the end of the game and TSM just doesn't have any dragons. I'm going to predict that this game is if I'm going to predict the game ends on a fight where Cloud9 has 3 dragons. And it's going after Dragon Soul is when this game's going to end.
Sounds exciting.
And better than some other games they've had so far, as far as watchability.
That's true.
Yeah. Predictions?
C9 wins in under 30 minutes.
Jesus.
And I honest to God, I think TSM is the second best team. And I think if anyone's going to beat C9, it's TSM. C9 is really damn good right now, and they are smashing people. They're very dominant, and I just don't think... I think that TSM has been playing better, like that second week, obviously. But I just don't think that C9 has... they have literally not shown a weakness. They have not had a major goal deficit yet in 6 games. The only team that has had that be a thing. And I don't think TSM is the team at this moment to knock them out of that.
I agree with that. I don't agree with them winning in under 29 though. Well,
This game's going on.
what's Dragon Timer? Like if
Every
they're
5 minutes. You can get
take
Elder
it-
Dragon at 26 minutes if you take dragons on spawn.
okay. So then maybe it's hard to say because I think TSM gets one dragon in the middle because TSM has the longest average game time in North America and EU at 40 minutes and 15 seconds, whereas Cloud9's at 34 or 34. So it's a full 10-minute difference in average game times. So I guess the longer the game goes, the better chance of winning TSM has.
Yeah, I picked TSM my weekly pick'ems. Trying to speak it into existence here. But I'm gonna be honest myself. I think C9 objectively is gonna win this game. I don't think it's gonna be before 30 minutes at all. I would be very surprised if that was the case. And I think TSM. I think this is like absolutely C9 is like the best chance of upsetting C9 that's been happening so far. That could happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta give C9 the edge in this one, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm taking C9. The first thing I did when I filled out my week 4 predictions was pick Cloud9 to win both their games and pick CLG to lose both their games.
CLG actually won this week. That was exciting. That was exciting.
They're really bad.
I know.
Same with EG. My God,
Just
They-
bad.
They look like they're gonna get it together, and they just don't. And I keep picking them to
Like
win some
they're
of these
about
games.
to beat CLG was about to beat Immortals, and then they just TP'd in the base and won, and then you're like, oh, guess you didn't win. Like, oh, I love it. It makes
Evil
me happy when
Geniuses
they're bad.
is so bad they lost to CLG.
Yeah.
All right, Eli. So for we still got some time left. We can power through your
Okay.
questions that we do.
Team fight trivia.
Yep.
Learn the name. Learn the name.
And
All
it's
right, this
time
one
for team fight
should-
trivia.
Do. All right.
Oh.
Nice. Teamwork. Okay, so this one should be a little bit quicker. All of these are the names of items are the answers. I'm going to keep it
Ooh,
kind
okay.
of simple that way. The theme for the week is removed items. These are all items that
God
were
damn it.
removed.
Yeah,
from the-
still stuff I have to remember. I'm screwed again.
All right. Number 1.
Oh wait,
are you guys
I gotta
ready?
bring up my Discord thing. Hold up.
Okay,
sorry.
that's why I asked.
Yeah, we're ready. Go.
I hate you so much. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Are we good?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. Number 1. Named after a popular YouTuber and Twitch streamer, which
Oh
item
shit.
granted move speed near turrets and could disable enemy turrets? Logan.
Wrecker.
You got it.
I just
After
got it.
years of nearly non-existent use, with the exception of some Trick 2G shenanigans, Wrecker was removed from the game at patch 923. Question number. So that's the point. I'm gonna tally the things because we're kind of trying to go fast. So I'll get your toast to you at the beginning of next week, but just for right
That's
now.
fine.
Question number 2. The defensive version of high risk, high reward items. Which item granted health per kill and assist, stacking up to 20 times? With you, Logan?
Atma's Impaler. No, that's not right.
That is
Fuck.
incorrect.
Shit. Sorry.
Stacking up to 20 times with you losing a third of those stacks if you die.
God, I don't remember this item.
Would you just like to pass?
Yeah, let's just pass it.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I have no
I
idea.
can't remember it.
This is Leviathan.
Oh, snap.
I literally don't remember that item.
It gave you
never
1
played
stack for an
Leviathan,
assist,
so.
2 stacks for kills at a maximum of 20 stacks. It give you like 640 health. And at max stacks, you would take 15% less damage. So if Mundo got a max stack Leviathan, you literally could not kill him.
Atma's was where as you got more health, you did more damage.
Yes.
Okay,
That
yeah.
was a part of the meta golem, was like
Yeah.
Warmog's Atlas. This item was removed on patch 1.00152, which is preseason 3. Sword of the Occult, which is a sister item, was removed in 5.22. That was the attack damage one. And Majia's Soul Stealer, curiously, still remains in the game.
Boo.
All right. Question number 3. So nobody got that one. Question number 3. A most beloved item if ever there was one. This item gave only 200 health and 5 gold per 10.
Damn it! I would.
Cool.
Heart of gold. Heart of
Heart of
gold.
gold.
When
You
you
got
said
it.
the beloved item,
I
I
said
was
the
literally
beloved,
gonna
I knew
hit
it.
enter. And I was gonna go
I
heart
knew
of
it.
gold. I should have done it. Oh my god.
The most expensive of the gold gen items, it would pay for itself in 27 minutes and 30 seconds or 13 minutes and 46 seconds if it was sold. It could build into Locket of the Iron Solari, Randuin's Omen, and Lord Van Dam's Pillager. It was removed in 100152. All right. Good job, Coobs.
I did it. I'm so happy.
Number
right
4.
now.
Which item of the Holy Trinity of Burst Mages increased the damage you would deal to a target's Coobs?
Deathfire Grasp.
You got it. We increase the damage you would deal to a target struck by its active by 20%. It also, on use, would deal 15% of a target's max health.
And it was dumb. LeBlanc. Oh my god, abused.
Immortalized in a song by the League of Legends band Pentakill, this item was removed in Season 5 because while originally intended as a way to allow AP assassins and burst mages to deal with tanks, was actually used most of the time to completely obliterate squishy champions without allowing them a chance to survive. As such, Riot removed DFG to allow them to
That was the new
I
question.
thought
Like,
it was
what
the new
is
question.
this?
I was like, I don't know what this item is. I was like, oh my god. I was like, what
I
is
almost
it?
hit- I almost hit enter.
Yeah, I do it. I thought you were asking a question.
I'm explaining DFG for people that maybe don't remember if they're new players.
Thank God.
They removed DFG to allow them to better balance Burst Mage's AP assassins and created Luden's Echo to replace it as the go-to item for Burst APs.
Cool.
Thank you, DFG. All right, number 5. This is the final question. One of the few items that offered both attack speed and health along with Trinity Force.
Shit.
Logan?
Oh, Zephyr. It's not
That
right.
is incorrect.
It's not right. Damn it. Didn't offer health.
All right. One of the few items that offer both attack speed and health along with Trinity Force, and the old version of Zeke's Herald. This was the first item to add Chain Lightning effect to your auto attacks. What was it?
Oh, fuck.
Coobs.
Was it Ionic Spark?
Yes.
You got
Damn
it.
Oh.
God bless TFT.
For the
I
record,
remembered what that item was called.
for the record, Logan, I would not. If you had gone in first, because you had already done earlier, I would have given Coobs priority. Just going forward, because if you guess and get it wrong, I'm not gonna let you just buzz in immediately again and try to get it right.
Oh, I get that.
Okay. So Ionic Spark would trigger on every 4th auto attack instead of the charge system we are used to now. It would deal 125 magic damage on up to 4 targets and was removed on 100152, along with Leviathan and Heart of Gold.
It brings me shame that you didn't give any honor to Zephyr in this.
So
It's my favorite item of all time.
that's the reason I didn't. It
feels bad.
initially was gonna be my number 5.
I
was
would have
gonna
got
be
it.
Zephyr, but I knew you were gonna get
You
it.
would've-
Like
You would have said
I
the
could have
greatest
said
item.
it. Yeah.
The greatest item to
Replace
ever
your
exist in League of Legends, and I would have been like Zephyr, and then that would have been it. So
Replace your boots. Give you tenacity. Like any stat. Like I say attack speed, and you were like Zephyr.
literally. Damn it.
Okay, so I think we got a lot of ones here because
Yeah.
Coobs
I had a
got
lot of wrongs this
DFG.
time.
Oh, and Coobs got Heart of Gold, so he got actually 3 points for this, and Logan got 1. And I'll get totals figured out for next week,
All right.
but we kind of hurried through this one, so
Well,
that was fun.
it was very fun. But that
Itemization,
is
baby.
that is going to do it for us today on Talk of the Rift. Remember to follow us here on Twitch and Twitter at Talk of the Rift. If you missed any of our other episodes, you can check them out on our Anchor page, anchor.fm/Talk of the Rift. From there, you can find us on virtually all podcast platforms from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, just to name a few. Don't forget to send us your questions for our Q&A or send us an audio message on our Anchor page so we can play it live, and we will see you next time.
See ya.
Goodbye.